Saul Canelo Alvarez is among the greatest boxers in the world, not only because he possesses incredible talent and skill, but because he is turning out to be the kind of fighter we all adore. One who is not afraid to fight anybody, no matter the risk. Picking and choosing opposition is nothing new in boxing, but it's still refreshing to see a boxer of Canelo's fame and reputation still keeping a tough schedule. Austin Trout, Floyd Mayweather, Alfredo Angulo, and now Erislandy Lara. The red-headed hotshot couldn't have picked a much more dangerous string of adversaries if he'd tried. What's more, Canelo was imminently capable of besting this high level of competition. At just 23 years of age, he is already an excellent fighter, and his technical ability and ring maturity are growing with each new challenge. Today, we will look at the kind of technical pressure that Canelo is capable of putting on his opponents, which he will need against Erislandy Lara, who is the very picture of a masterful Cuban boxer. This is Canelo Alvarez, Young Gun. One of the ways that Canelo pressures his opponents is with body position. Using his hips and legs, he can create different impressions for his opponents, forcing them to react. Let's examine how that works. If Canelo were to shift to his right hip, for example, his opponent might expect a simultaneous hook, like so, or a jab. In addition, this movement also suggests the coiling of a hard right hand. A shift to the left hip, on the other hand, could also be part of a simultaneous right, or it could be the chambered position for a left. Here, you can see Canelo using these shifts, as well as level changes, to pressure Austin Trout. Let's see that again. Canelo dips under a jab and shifts to his left hip. Trout expects him to uncoil into a left hook and moves back accordingly. Now Canelo drops to his right, and Trout feels the threat of an impending right hand. He steps back and circles to his right, away from Alvarez's cross. Canelo shifts to his left to cut him off with another potential left hook, and Trout circles back to his left to get away. Some more shifting, and suddenly Trout realizes that Canelo is almost on top of him, and that he has been backed up all the way to the ropes. He pivots out of danger, managing to avoid Canelo's uppercut, but his movements are not those of a comfortable man. Moments later, Canelo uses a shift to his left hip to find the angle for a right hand, one that will work to much greater effect 2 rounds later. You see, not only do hip shifts threaten certain punches, but they also create the openings for those punches. From a neutral position like this, a right hand cannot connect. With a small step and a shift to the left hip, however, the punch has a clear lane to the target. Canelo found that angle on Trout in the 7th round. Let's break that down. Canelo jabs to test the range and prompt Trout to react. Next, he preemptively shifts to his left hip, correctly spotting the angle for his right hand. Feinting the jab this time, Canelo draws a counter jab from Trout, which slips past his head as he steps and commits to his left hip. Trout's shoulders are nearly square when Canelo's punch connects, and he crumples to the ground. From this camera angle, you can clearly see how Canelo's shift to the left hip takes his head outside the path of Trout's jab, while lining up his own right hand. Canelo's positional pressure is excellent, but his real strength shines when he takes advantage of those positions. Canelo is well known as a potent combination puncher, a skill which is usually attributed to his hand speed or reflexes. And while Canelo does possess exceptionally quick hands and masterful timing, the real explanation for his combination prowess lies in how he throws his punches. Take this simple sequence from his fight with Alfredo Angulo, for example. Canelo's jab leaves him balanced between both feet and ready to punch from either hand. He follows up with a left hook that not only brings his weight to his rear foot, loading up a right cross, but pushes Angulo into the path of that punch. Every punch that Canelo throws leaves him in position to immediately throw another punch. Canelo's combinations are also very intelligent, designed to find and create openings in the opponent's defense. Let's see that sequence of same-hand combinations again. Canelo leads with a left hook that loops around Angulo's guard, followed by an uppercut that just misses the mark. Next, he leads with the same left uppercut. Angulo blocks most of the impact with his gloves, but in doing so, brings his arms forward and exposes the right side of his body. Canelo capitalizes with a vicious left hook to the liver. After an ineffective flurry from Angulo, Canelo tries his first combination again, but this time with his right hand. A short right hook draws Angulo's guard to the side of his head and opens the path for an uppercut up the middle. Once more, watch the way that Canelo builds his combinations, so that each one capitalizes on the threat of the one before. Canelo Alvarez is a unique fighter. Whether it's the novelty of his red hair and Mexican heritage, the disparity between his young age and veteran skill set, or his admirable willingness to fight the toughest opposition available, Canelo Alvarez stands out. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to click like. For more content like this, subscribe to MMANation.com and check out BloodyElbow.com and BadLeftHook.com. Thanks for watching.